mother vanishes. A baby disappears. Then, just when it seems like this story is heading toward a tragic ending, the baby is found, safe and alive. But the mother? Nowhere. Not a trace. Now, I don't know about you, but when someone goes missing and only half of them comes back, that's when things start to feel unnerving. This isn't some everyday missing persons case. No. This is the kind of story that grips you by the throat and refuses to let go. The kind of case that makes you check the backseat of your car before driving home at night. Because let's be honest, mothers don't just disappear without a reason. And if they do, that reason is never good. Welcome to Worcester, Massachusetts. A city that, up until now, was famous for, well, nothing that would make headlines. But in February of 2025, everything changed. Amanda Collins and her 1.5-year-old daughter, Liyana, vanished. Just, poof, gone. No signs of struggle. No panic calls to 911. Just a mother and child, seemingly swallowed by thin air. And then, just when the city starts whispering theories about kidnappings, runaways, or something even darker, something unexpected happens. Liyana is found. Safe. Alone. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, thank God the baby's okay. And yes, absolutely. But also, where the hell is Amanda? A mother and child disappear together. Only one comes back. Now you tell me, does that sound like a simple case of she just left? Or is there something much, much darker lurking beneath the surface? If you have not subscribed, do that now because this case is going to be very long. Tonight, we unravel the chilling disappearance of Amanda Collins. The vanishing, the shocking discovery, and the questions that still haunt this case. Because if there's one thing I've learned from stories like these, it's this. Nothing is ever as it seems. Time is a funny thing. 1 second everything is normal. The next, gone. That's exactly what happened on February 26, 2025. Amanda Collins and her 1.5-year-old daughter, Liyana, were there, living their lives, doing whatever normal mothers and toddlers do. And then, in the blink of an eye, nothing. No calls. No messages. No goodbyes. Now here's the thing about silence. It speaks volumes. And Amanda's family? They were listening. At first, they assumed it was something minor. Maybe she lost her phone. Maybe she was busy. Maybe, just maybe, they were overreacting. But then, the little things started adding up. Amanda wasn't answering texts. Calls went straight to voicemail. And the worst part? She had never been the kind of person to just disappear. So, when February 26 came and went with no sign of Amanda or Liyana, her family did something no one ever wants to do. They called the police. And that's when this quiet little mystery became something much bigger. Here's the thing about missing persons cases, every second matters. You wait too long? You're looking at cold trails, dead ends, and questions that might never be answered. So, when Worcester police received the missing persons report, they didn't waste any time. They started with the basics. Amanda's last known location? No leads. Any recent social media activity? Nothing unusual. Friends? Family? Anyone who had seen or spoken to her recently? Blank stares and shaking heads. It was as if Amanda and Liyana had vanished off the face of the earth. And that's when the theories started. Some people believed Amanda had run away, packed up her life, grabbed her daughter and left. But why? There was no history of trouble. No warning signs. No, I need to get out of here moment. Others had a darker theory. What if Amanda hadn't left on her own? What if someone had taken her? And worse, what if she never had the chance to fight back? At this point, the clock was ticking. Would Amanda and Liyana be found in time? Or was this case already slipping into something much, much worse? There are certain phone calls no one ever wants to make. Calling customer service? Annoying. Calling your ex? Probably a mistake. Calling the police because your sister and her baby have vanished into thin air? That's pure nightmare fuel. Amanda's sister, Keisha Flint, and their mother, Linda Darkangelis Flint, didn't just call the cops. They called everyone. Friends, neighbors, old acquaintances. The guy who sold Amanda coffee every morning. The responses? Nothing. No one had seen her. No one had heard from her. And that's when panic turned into something much worse. Fear. Because here's the terrifying truth. When someone wants to disappear, they leave traces. A money withdrawal. A social media post. A goodbye text at the very least. But when someone vanishes against their will, it's just silence. And silence is never good. Now let's talk about the police. Say what you want about them, but when a 1.5-year-old child goes missing, they don't mess around. No wait 48 hours. No slow paperwork shuffle. Just sirens, flashing lights, and an entire department shifting into high gear. Amanda and Liyana were now officially missing persons, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Where was she last seen? Who was the last person to talk to her? And most importantly, was there any sign that she and Liyana were in danger before they vanished? Detectives combed through phone records, security cameras, apartment complexes. Every second mattered. Because here's a cold, hard fact. When a child disappears, the first 24 hours can mean the difference between a rescue and a recovery. And then the police dropped a chilling statement. We believe Amanda and Liyana might be in danger. Might. Sir, a mother and her baby disappeared off the face of the earth. Might is doing some heavy lifting in that sentence. The internet. A place where you can watch cat videos, order sushi at 3 a.m., and suddenly become an armchair detective with zero qualifications. The moment Amanda and Liyana's case hit the news, true crime junkies, Reddit threads, and TikTok sleuths exploded with theories. Some were helpful. Some were, let's just say, unhinged. But one thing was clear. This case had gripped the world and no one was letting go. And just when it felt like the case was spiraling into the unknown, something shocking happened. Liyana was found. Alive. Safe. But Amanda? Still gone. And that's when things got even stranger. Here's a question for you. What's the one thing that makes a missing persons case even more disturbing? The answer is when the missing reappear, but not all of them. Because on February 28, 2025, after 48 agonizing hours, sleepless nights, and an entire city holding its breath, baby Liyana was found. Alive. Safe. But Amanda? She was still nowhere. Now, let's be clear. Normally this would be a moment of celebration. A sigh of relief. A thank God she's safe kind of situation. But instead, it left everyone with even more questions. Because let's break this down logically. A mother and child vanish together. And then, suddenly the child returns. Alone. Tell me, when does that ever mean something good? Now here's where things get really frustrating. The police? Well, they found Liyana. But do you think they were eager to spill the details? Of course not. Official reports were vague. Deliberately so. Where was Liyana found? Not saying. Who found her? No comment. How did she get there? That's part of an ongoing investigation. Now, I get it. Law enforcement has to keep some things private. Protect the integrity of the case, yada yada. But when the entire country is watching, waiting, refreshing news sites every 5 seconds, and all we get is, we are looking into it, it just makes people ask more questions. And the internet detectives? Oh, they were on it. Some theories were wild. Some were terrifyingly plausible. Had Amanda been taken and Liyana was somehow let go? Did Amanda leave Liyana somewhere for safety before disappearing herself? Or, the theory no one wanted to say out loud, was Amanda never meant to be found in the first place? Here's what we do know. Liyana was found. She was physically unharmed, which was a miracle. But the real question wasn't how she was found. It was why. Because whoever had Amanda had made a choice. And that choice changed everything. Alright. Now that we know what happened, let's talk about the one thing that keeps true crime junkies up at night. Why? Because when a mother vanishes and her baby mysteriously reappears, there are only 3 possibilities. And let me tell you, none of them are comforting. The first theory is, Amanda ran away. The idea? Amanda left on her own. Walked away. Packed up her life. Abandoned everything, including her own child. Now, on the surface this sounds like an easy explanation. A convenient one. But there's just one problem. Actually, several. Amanda wasn't struggling financially. She had no history of mental health issues. No abusive relationships. No sudden life crises. And according to her family, she had one rock-solid, non-negotiable trait. She would never leave Liyana behind. Ever. So, unless Amanda woke up one day, decided to rewrite her entire personality, and disappeared into the night for no reason at all. This theory? Yeah. It doesn't hold up. The second theory, a third party was involved. Now this theory? It's the one that keeps people checking their locks at night. Because if Amanda didn't leave on her own, it means someone took her. Here's what makes this extra disturbing. This was an abduction, why return Liyana? Kidnappers don't just say, hey actually, let's keep the mom but drop the baby off somewhere safe. That's not how these cases work. And yet, that's exactly what happened. Which means we have to ask an even darker question. Was Liyana meant to be found? And if so, what does that tell us about what happened to Amanda? Now let's get into the strangest possibility. Amanda is alive, but doesn't want to be found. If Amanda was running from something, or someone, so dangerous that she had to leave her baby behind to keep her safe, then we aren't just looking for a missing person. We're looking for a fugitive. Or worse, a woman running for her life. The problem? Nothing in Amanda's life suggested she was afraid of anyone. No threatening texts. No break-ins. No suspicious behavior. So if she was running, who or what was she running from? And here's where things get even weirder. Amanda's family was adamant she would never leave Liyana. Which means, if she was taken, she fought. If she ran, she had no choice. And if she's still out there, she's either hiding from something truly terrifying, or she never had the chance to escape at all. So, which theory do you believe? Or is the truth something even darker? Here's something you never want to hear from the police. We're doing everything we can. Because in true crime translation that means, we have no idea what's going on. And in the case of Amanda Collins, that's exactly where we are. The good news? The search for Amanda is still active. The bad news? No one seems to know what they're actually searching for. A runaway? A hostage? A woman who's in hiding? A victim of something much worse? The only certainty is this. Amanda Collins didn't just vanish. Something, or someone, made her disappear. Now let's talk evidence. Because surely, in this era of doorbell cameras, satellite tracking, and a society that records everything, there must be something. Right? Cameras. They're everywhere. Stores. Streets. Traffic lights. Your neighbor's front porch, which, let's be honest, is probably just a hobby-level FBI operation at this point. So, did any of these all-seeing eyes capture Amanda in the moments before she vanished? The police aren't saying, which is either very good or very bad. If there's no footage at all, that means Amanda was last seen in a place with 0 cameras. Suspicious. If there is footage but they're keeping it under wraps? Even more suspicious. People talk. Neighbors. Strangers. The guy who walks his dog at 4 a.m. like he's training for a crime documentary interview. So, did anyone see Amanda? Again, the police? Silent. Which means one of two things. 1. No one saw anything. Unlikely because humans are nosy. 2. Someone saw something, but they're too afraid to talk. And that's the kind of silence that screams. This is the part in a crime case where things get weird. A random voicemail. A strange text. A letter that suddenly appears in the mail with no return address. Because if Amanda is alive and trying to communicate, it wouldn't be as simple as a, "Hey guys, I'm fine. Just needed some space," text. It would be subtle. Hidden. A breadcrumb trail for the right people to find. But so far, nothing. Which brings us to the million-dollar question. If Liyana was found, where is Amanda? This is what keeps the family awake at night. This is what keeps investigators digging. Because a baby does not return without a reason. Someone made a decision to bring Liyana back. And that means someone knows exactly what happened to Amanda. But whoever they are, they're staying silent. And that silence might just be the darkest clue of all. Some stories have endings. This one doesn't. Not yet. Because as of right now, Amanda Collins is still missing. And every second that passes, the question only gets louder. So what do we really have here? A mother who ran? A woman who was taken? A secret so dark that someone made sure she wouldn't talk? At this point, Amanda could be anywhere. And the person who knows what happened? They're still out there. Watching. Waiting. Hoping we'll stop looking. But let's get one thing straight. We're not stopping. Now, some missing persons cases go cold. They slip into the abyss, forgotten by the world. But this one? Oh no. This one is just getting started. And this is where you come in. What do you think happened?